moving fast. The mortgage bankers are ready. We are ready to ensure that most of these things we need are provided. So profiling of customers is no problem. Like I've said, with the family homes, we need to work with time. So we have all the tools to make sure that profiling does not take time. Most of the problems we have are when you don't get the documents right. If you get to family homes, it won't fly. So as mortgage bankers, we are ready to do most of these things and make sure that we don't delay. We also have by the grace of God, Central Bank has been very, very supportive. We have this global standing order, such that besides global standing order, we also have, we are now using AI to look at the credit profile of customers. Unlike the manual one we're wasting time to check most of these things. We also have the global standing order. We can check through the credit bureau and so on. So there are a lot of innovations we have. And as the market is growing and moving, we're also employing other tools to make sure that we don't do things like yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will just give us 30 seconds. Final thoughts, just the key thing, the most important thing you think we should take away from this session. So I will start from you and down here, Mr. Just 30 seconds, please.
Okay, we have to take housing as a national emergency and recognize the impact to the GDP of housing to our economy. We have to advocate wherever we go, wherever we sit, wherever we see government and policy makers, just like they think agriculture, petroleum, and other sectors are so important, that housing can actually solve 25 to 30% of their problem, and they need to take housing that seriously. I believe it is our responsibility to do that. Wherever we sit down, wherever we see these people, we continue to hammer this point home for them to understand the significance of housing to Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson.
The CBN will continue to be both a regulator and an enabler. We'll continue to give support to the industry. We'll continue to make regulations or amend regulations in a manner that will help to achieve the objective of not in the country, but housing affordability. Thank you.
Ajia.
Thank you so much. Housing is absolutely in each and every one of our best interests. It is an intervention that should have happened yesterday, but I won't regurgitate the message of Malam Abdul Malik. What I'll do is look at FHF about mortgages. Mortgages in the West work perfectly because the economies are easier to trace, it's easier to verify, it's easier to do due diligence. If you're describing where I live in Niger State, you'll say it's the street on the left near the big mango tree. You can't even begin to prove whose side you're. So I think I'd like you to break the mold a little bit and say if there's Hajja Mansoura, she's paying school fees, and the principal says she's paid school fees. If your landlord can confirm for the last 5 years you pay rent, if the facility manager says yes, you pay facility management fees, you're profiled. This issue of profiling takes a great deal of time, and I think it's causing a lot of wastage in the linkages. You guys are doing an amazing job in terms of bridging it, but we have to see what solutions work for Africans, what solution works for Nigerians, and it's going to take going that extra mile so that you can get people on the property ladder. Thank you.
Thank you. We want to put on record the very, very unfailing support of CBN to the success we have recorded so far in this subsector. Once we established the integrity, CBN has been with us. So we want to thank CBN for the support. Secondly, we want to ensure that by the time we are here next year, the issue of Nigeria Mortgage Guarantee Company will have been put to bed so that affordability will become highly enhanced in Nigeria. Thirdly, by the time we finish this AIS for this year, I want the AIS to have a composite of concrete issues, practical, that can be demonstrated. So that by the time we are here next year, we will then go through the checklist and be sure that this is what we achieved last year to next year, so that all year round we'll be having progress from this particular event. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. I want everybody in this room to go away with the thought that the federal government set up family homes funds to be in the gap of fund aggregation for the low-income earner. Look at the graphic picture of the hunter that goes to the forest to kill meat and bring it back for those who are not strong enough to go to hunt. So we're building an institution that can stand in front of international communities and raise long-term and very cheap funds and bring it home so that we can provide affordable housing for the Mr. John that needs it in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should give all the panelists another round of applause. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your experience with us. Thank you so much. Please, we'll stand up for photographs right now as we round up this session. Thank you very much.
Please, let's put our hands together once again for this powerful panel. Thank you very much. Please, let's settle down. We're working behind schedule, and we have to be a lot more innovative and pragmatic. So for this next session, we're going to take 2 sessions in one. We're going to take 2 sessions in one. There was a session that we were supposed to take yesterday, but due to air travel disappointment, we couldn't. So I'm just going to invite, we have a lead presenter in the house. We have a presenter online, and I'll just call the panel out. So we take the 2 presentations, and then we discuss the 2 presentations together. That is where we're going to do it. So first of all, join me to welcome our friend, distinguished economist, very renowned, Dr. Biodun Adedipe. Biodun Adedipe, Chief Consultant and Founder, B. Adedipe and Associates. Please, let's encourage him. He has been waiting all day. Thank you very much, sir. Please, you can take your seat. And we have a presenter online, which I will bring in. So Dr. Adedipe will have his presentation. We'll bring in Keshia Rust for her presentation. Now, the other panelists who will join us for this, we have Douglas Elisha, representing Mohammed Sani Abdullahi, Deputy Governor, Economic Policy, CBN. Douglas, where are you? Douglas, please come. We have Mr. Taufik Latinwo, representing Kehinde Ogundimu, MDCEO, Nigeria Mortgage Finance Company. Taufik, please come to the podium. We have Mr. Audu Olokpo, representing the CEO, National Bureau of Statistics. Mr. Audu Olokpo, please come to the podium. Thank you very much. And We have Mr. Emeka Ele, former President Naive. Emeka has been waiting since yesterday. We're very sorry about this. Oga President. Please, let's give him presidential welcome. President, welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you. We have Mrs. Evelyn Olanikpekun, former Director Housing Census, NPC, Nigerian Population Commission. Taufik, I better make Madam sit in the middle. Let us sit in the middle. Don't worry. We have the DG, National Population Commission, Ojogun Telsin Osifo. We're pleased to have you join the panel. And we have Mr. Collins Alabi, Director of Lands, Federal Minister of Housing and Urban Development. Collins, where are you? Mr. Collins Alabi, is he here? Fantastic. He probably will be joining us. Okay, thank you. I mean, this session, these two sessions that we're looking at is very critical, very, very significant. Number one, we're talking about financing the housing that we need. You know, and Dr. Adedipe will be taking his keynote to speak to sizing the pot, you know, and it will take it from the angle of the macro perspectives, and it will cascade it into the industry and all the issues in that respect. And then, since yesterday we've been talking about data, so we're going to talk about the critical question. What does data tell us? Because a lot of the time, like we've had over and over, we simply groove in the dark. What is the size of this market? What is the size of various demographics? What is the size of the deficit in the various states? What is the size of the deficit for the various level of various age groups in the economy? These are the critical questions that we need to answer today. Data is critical. In the past, Redan took a very bold step to start the process of creating a data dashboard that we all can look at. There are a lot of initiatives in the market, you know, but I believe that we need to begin to synthesize all our views, advise government, work with. I remember that 2 years ago at this event, we had everybody from NPC, from Redan, from CBN in the same panel. This is a continuation of that. So I'm going to hand over now to Dr. Biodun Adedipe. He will make his presentation. Then we'll call on Keshia Rust is waiting online. Thereafter, not now, when we are ready, after Dr. Adedipe, Keshia Rust will make our presentation, and then we'll go into these discussions. Once again, thank you very much for your patience. We appreciate you. God bless you. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Chairman, and my very good friend and brother. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I stand on the already established protocol, and we go straight to the business. And I put together a deck of slides, and incidentally, having been here since the event started today, I've heard quite a lot of things that also crossed what I had penned down. But most importantly was what came from the last session. And that's a very strong message that I believe we should not lose sight of. That the success of what you do with housing in Nigeria and in Africa depends largely on collaboration. And that means it is not an issue for any particular segment of the market, or let me call it the sector. So what I'm going to speak to very quickly, I was told I have 15 minutes, but I can do that in less than 15 minutes. Just 4 things. The first, what I called what things look like right now, and my perspective is not just Nigeria, but Africa, in context of the name of this particular show. Then I will look also very quickly, maybe only one slide, at the nexus between housing and the economy. Then the core conversation, financing the housing that we need. In which case, for me, first is to answer the question, what type of housing do we need? And then we now connect to financing. So, as a starting point, what I said, what things look like currently. And I've heard some speakers also make reference to that. The major challenges that we have to grapple with in housing in Africa can be categorized into 7. The first is theirs of accessible long-term financing. Before we've been talking about lack of long-term financing, it is not so much as the financing not being available, but access to it. And that is the note on which I will end my presentation. Secondly, tenuous property titling. In which case, if people don't have titles to their